Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be a match between soO and INnoVation from Katowice 2020, the qualification rounds. Two excellent Korean players going at it in a ZVT. I am super excited for this. Top left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player. It is INnoVation. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the blue Zerg player, soO, who got his first Premier Tournament win in 2019. Love this guy. He's finished second so many times, finally got that win. Couldn't be happier for him. He's always been an elite Zerg player. Now he has a resume entry to help prove it. Ooh, 16 pool out of soO. All right, he's got some plans. He has some plans for aggression here. We'll see what INnoVation does about it. Is he going to SCV scout? He better. He's smart enough for that, right? We've talked about this a million times. If you're gonna go for the Reaper expand, you need to SCV scout or keep the Reaper at home. Those are your choices, because you never know what it's going to be a pool first play out of your enemy Zerg, like soO. Also, a bit of some news. We do have a coupon code for the store. So just go to falconpaladin.store, enter the discount code Summer Crowns. That's one word, Summer Crowns. No space, no dash. I'll put it in the description too, so you know what it looks like. And that will give you a hefty discount on anything at the store. You can use it as many times as you want. Check it out, use it, have a great day. falconpaladin.store. All right, this Reaper's name is Elf on the Shelf. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Due to creeping out mechs, he is now Creeper in the Reaper. Sure, why not? Creeper in the Reaper it is. In a Reaper suit. And here we go. SCV scouting. Yep, SCV coming down. Trying to see if there are any lings coming out. And by golly, the lings are on their way. He knows what's up. He's going to keep the Reaper at home. Gonna keep the Reaper at home. There we go. Keeping the Reaper at home. INnoVation is too smart. He knows that the risk of Zerglings coming up, killing this SCV and delaying his natural base is too high. So soO went for the Gambit. INnoVation was too smart. Shut it right down. And soO's going to move into a very standard game now. I'm going to take a third base here, I have to assume, with this drone right here. Indeed, at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's the thing. A pool first play doesn't put you irrevocably behind in a TVZ if you don't get anything done. I mean, it hurts a little bit, but still your third base timing isn't bad. You get speed out faster. The Reaper harass isn't a problem anymore, because by the time the Reaper shows up, you've already got queens out. And your lings, well, they don't have speed, but the queens are here, and that's what really matters. Plus, you'll have ling speed in case of Hellion attacks a little bit sooner, too. So, Reaper, Elf on the Shelf, or Creeper in the Reaper, doesn't really want to come up here because there's a queen ready to stab him in the face with spines. It's not a good feeling. You ever been stabbed in the face with a spine before, like from a porcupine or like a bee or something? I actually had a wasp attack once when I was very young. We were visiting some friends in Vermont. I remember specifically the state because this was very traumatic. I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. And we were playing out in the woods like you do when you're living in Vermont in 1992. And I don't know who it was, but somebody disturbed a wasp nest, and they went nuts. They stung me. I think they counted 42 times. It was bad. It was a really, really bad experience. Speaking of which, this Reaper's dead. Great scout, I guess. I mean, saw no Roach Warren, saw no Lair. Those are the important things. Knows it's not one of those crazy 2.5 base Zerg attacks that are really hard to hold. soO's going for the macro style. Anyway, yeah, so bad times. Wasps are bad. They might have been hornets, actually. I don't know. All I know is I was getting stung by things I couldn't really see. It was not a good time. Fusion core on the way from INnoVation. That could be for battle cruisers. I mean, that's something we've seen, is keep these Hellions alive, make a battle cruiser, make some Hellbats out of these Hellions, and then push. Additionally, we've seen players just throw the Hellions away and use the battle cruiser as kind of a delayed harassment technique. That's fine too. But the problem with that is, well, there are so many queens out from soO and going for a lair too. I just don't see a battle cruiser really being able to cause many problems. Oh, how did this Overlord get in? INnoVation, did he not have a Marine yet, or was it out of position? Feels like an out of position Marine. So the Overlord says, Fusion Core, Tech Lab, Starport, that is definitely a battle cruiser in production. And the Overlord is going to die, but got the important information, got a perfect scout off. That's what you want to do. Transferring drone, roasted up. Hellion count fairly high. We could see the mech strategy be used here today. This has been a problem for Zergs on the channel recently. Koreans especially. is this mech strategy with a ton of Thors used by Korean Terran players. And the Korean Zergs go for a Roach Ravager Swarm Host defense, and it doesn't work, at least not on my channel. Obviously, it works. Otherwise, they would not do it, right? If it had 0% chance of working, they wouldn't try it. But I'm just saying, the Ling Viper Hydra strategy, Ling Viper Hydra Lurker strategy, seems to be a lot better. When Cyril and Raynor have implemented those strategies against other Korean Terran players, they've won. So we'll see. I'm probably getting ahead of myself here. Oh, never mind. There's 2 factories. Okay, so INnoVation's doing the newfangled mech style here. Battle Cruiser shows up in the main base. There's a Spore here to anchor the defense, but it's not done yet. This is fantastic timing out of INnoVation. The Queens are all here to defend against it, and the Hellions know they can actually dive in and maybe kill a couple Queens. This is so good out of INnoVation, you guys. This is beautiful stuff out of Inno. Really showing why he is one of the preeminent StarCraft 2 players in the world with this attack. Sure, his Hellions are all going to die, but getting 7 drones there, combined with the Battlecruiser attack and with the Hellions, and the Battlecruiser has 4 kills himself, including 3 Queens. No, wait, one of those Queens is for the Hellions. Anyway, combined harassment has been so good right now. He did jump over, so he can't go too deep into here. He doesn't have a jump out ability yet. It takes forever for that to cool down. I mean, it's about 75% complete, but he's been over here for a while, and another 25% is basically an eternity. It's going Yamato and additional BCs. So this is heavily relying on battle cruisers and tanks. I'm not sure. We might see some Thors, just maybe not yet. I mean, there's a Spire up from soO, so you could go some kind of a Mutalisk Corruptor style play. Oh, some Roaches wandered across the map and got 3 SCV kills. I mean, it's fine. And I guess they're killing some Hellions too. So they're paying for themselves to some extent. I mean, if they didn't get these Hellion kills, I'd say they were not worth it, but it's fine. Totally fine. 8 Corruptors in production. You can definitely make some Mutas on top of it to deal with the tanks. And if this is a Battlecruiser tank strategy, then nothing here can shoot up. So I kind of really like it. I mean, not nothing can shoot up, but the Corruptors can handle the Battlecruisers just fine. And especially if you make them jump away, then suddenly the tanks are dead because the Mutas are ready to rock. But I don't know about this Roach Corruptor play from soO. I'm not going to question him too hard because he is soO. He did win that Premier Tournament last year. I'm just saying, Roaches versus tanks are not my favorite thing. He might assume it's Thors, right? And if it's Thors, Roaches are going to do better. But it's not Thors, it's tanks. And tanks with that bonus damage versus Roaches really do pretty well. So again, nothing here can shoot up. He's making turrets because he's worried about Mutalisks and Corruptors coming in and him having nothing to defend. Here we go. So Yamato jump strategy employed. Corruptor dies. soO doesn't care. He got the Battlecruisers off his front lines. He knows they won't really come back anytime soon because then they can't jump away. And he decides maybe to take the fight to the Terran player a little bit. He's up 76 to 48 in army supply. That's insane. How? I mean, I guess a lot of that is Queens, but Ravagers, Corruptors, 16 Roaches. You might even have enough Roaches to handle these tanks, but I don't know, man. 4 tanks, pretty good split. I really think he was expecting Thors, man. Crucibile's going down on the tanks, trying to hit the battle cruisers a little bit here, too. The repair on the tanks is really good. And soO's forced to pull back a little bit. Repair on the battle cruisers was nice as well. I really think he was expecting Thors there. Because that's what this generally is. It's weird that INnoVation chose to skip anti-air. Again, except for, I know I keep saying there's no anti-air, but there are BCs they can shoot up. This is a pretty decent attack out of soO. Crucibile's making some decent connections, but still too many tanks remaining. What a strategy here from INnoVation. I don't know that I've ever seen this on the channel. Battle Cruiser tank. Still not producing any Thors. Still not producing any, I don't know, Marines or Vikings or anything that can shoot Mutalisks, for example. I mean, the turrets are here, right? So he doesn't really have to make Thors or Marines if he has enough turrets to defend. It's just moving out is going to be hard. So soO's sitting happily on 4 bases. He's got a 5th base coming up to the right side. He's at 81 workers. He's basically at the stage where he can do whatever he wants as a Zerg player. He put some pressure on INnoVation. He killed a bunch of stuff. He has lost more than INnoVation has, according to the losses tab in the bottom right there. By quite a bit, actually. But he's fine. He's on extra bases. He's got a nice economy. The Battlecruisers decide we have our cooldown on tactical jump ready, so let's push across, maybe try to kill some stuff. tumors would be really nice targets here. And then if we get attacked, we can just flee. We get attacked, we'll Yamato a couple corruptors, and we'll get out of here. Oh, the scan wore off. That sucks. Oh, that battlecruiser might not get out. Oh, it does die. The other two escape. Very nicely done. Taking down a battlecruiser for effectively one corruptor is a fantastic trade for soO. Loving that. INnoVation taking a 4th base and building a 5th base right at the base of his natural baneling nest on the way from soO. So he's going Roach Ravager Corruptor to handle this. And now we have Thors. So now the Thors are in production here, going for an Infernal Pre-Igniter 2. Might be worried about Swarm Hosts, but Infestation Pit on the way. It could be an option, just not yet. Just not yet. Also, there's not a Nidus coming in. I feel like if he was planning on going Swarm Host, he'd already have a Nidus done. But, I mean, he could always make one later. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. Transformation Servos on the way for INnoVation. Working on sensor towers, working on +2 mech upgrades, +2 missile attack, finishing up now from soO, and he's going for a hive. So he's going to try to take down this planetary, and he can, except for the fact that there are multiple battlecruisers coming, which the corruptors are trying to deal with, because again, there's only one Thor here. Ooh, battlecruiser down is huge. The repair on the planetary is too much, though. And battlecruiser does have a jump available, but does not jump. That was strange. Yeah, he might be done with battlecruisers at this point. Oh, nice poop and creep up there. INnoVation's attempt at a 5th base, so it can't even land his command center. That's fantastically hilarious. Battlecruiser count is 0. They're done. Again, I don't see any in the production tab. I don't necessarily see any more being built. We have, in fact, reactored the starport, which means you can't even make a battlecruiser if you wanted to. The Thors do chase away the Overlords so the base can land, but I mean, I think soO, he's in a great position. I like what he's doing. I like the Banelings with the introduction of the Hellbats here into the army. Banelings, that bonus damage versus light applies to both Hellions and Hellbats. Is the one thing that Zerg has against Hellbats is bonus damage versus light on those Banelings. I guess Roaches trade extremely well versus them two Ravagers at the same time. So yeah, Roach Ravager might just be enough for these Hellbats, but if you can roll in some Banelings, clear those out, and let the Roaches and Ravagers handle the tanks alone, that's a pretty good position to be in. Greater Spire coming in. Now, I don't know about the Broodlords. Your opponent has the Thors, which outrange the Broodlords. Sensor Tower does get focused at the very least. A couple SCVs die. soO decides to pull home. And yeah, we're definitely into the late game stages now, ladies and gentlemen. Creep spread pushing up the left side here, pushing up the center. Right side. Creep spread from soO is beautiful. It is not the best creep spread in the world, but it is still very, very good. I'd put it in top 5 of all Zerg players. But yeah, Greater Spire. I don't know that I've seen a Zerg player go Broodlord and win recently on the channel. Not on this patch, anyway. Hellions running down the left side, because if you're playing mech, this is how you have to harass the Zerg. It has to be Hellions. There's nothing else you can do. And then suddenly this happens. And there's a million Ravagers, and you just have to go home. Right side Hellions try to get in, but there's creep spread announcing their presence. Super annoying stuff. But is there anything here to stop them? There's two. Oh, he's really more interested in clearing creep here. Maybe because he's worried about the response from the army, but they're not in position to stop this. There's two spines. There's 2 spines here. All these drones are going to die, though. These Hellions are willing to sacrifice a couple of their buddies' lives to roast up 11 drones for sure. And now none of them are getting out. But 14 drones is a good number. Baneling's getting some extra hits in there. soO has another base. INnoVation constructing a 6th base here at the 13-minute mark. And what a fantastic macro game this is turning out to be. 5 Thors at a time in production. This is INnoVation going for that Thor strategy. And again, what I've seen work against this is Vipers abducting Thors into groups of lurkers. That's your story. Blinding Cloud, maybe to mess with them so they can't kill the Vipers when they come over. That's what I've seen Serral do. That's what I've seen Raynor do. And he makes the strategy that INnoVation is employing look terrible. But all of the Korean Zergs I've cast against this strategy on the channel over the past couple of weeks have refused to make Vipers. They've gone for Ultras. They've gone for Broodlords. They've gone for Infestors. They've gone for Swarm Hosts. None of it has worked, and they've lost every game that I've seen them play against this. Rogue's done it, Dark's done it, and now soO. So, actually, soO is another example of someone who has failed against this. So I've had it explained to me that, you know, the Thors just target the Vipers before they can get close enough to abduct. And, yeah, I guess so. But, again, that's got to be it. That just has to be the reason, doesn't it? INnoVation's maxed out, so he's sacrificing some SCVs. Oh, no, we have some Vipers. Look at that. Never mind. soO's got Vipers. All right, all right. Feeling better about this. Blinding Cloud getting tossed down on the tanks, on the missile turrets. Oh, the repair is non-existent. Baneling's crashing into the SCVs anyway. The base dies. And I think this is where you just get out. You Crocibile a tank and you evacuate. Beautiful attack from soO. Disgustingly good attack from soO. That's what I need more of. Zerg players. This Thor attack squad heading down the right side is kind of sneaky and I love it. Oh, hold on. Abort. Abort mission. We're getting out of here, boys. Yes. I don't know. Was the army in position to stop that? Maybe they were. Maybe the Thors didn't want to die. It felt like a suicide mission to me. If you're walking Thors into battle with no other support, it kind of feels like a suicide mission. These guys, too, protecting the 6th base at the top right. 7th base? Yes, 7th base. Anyway, the Thors are dead. The planetary is dead. Army heading down the left side. I think INnoVation really needs to kill a base to make this work. An attempted 7th or 8th command center here for INnoVation dies. Doesn't get a cancel off either. INnoVation, I'm worried about you, man. I guess wiping out this hatchery will do something to bring you back even with this game. But soO has a giant bank. I don't like that he's making Broodlords. Look at this Viking count. Look at this Thor count. Look at the upgrades involved. Pathogen glands coming in, so infestors are going to be part of the play. So that's basically 2 command centers in exchange for a hatchery. I suppose. You could probably kill this one too. But soO's just kind of running around, not quite sure where to respond, where to defend at this point. Creep threat at the middle is pretty lackluster, but I mean, INnoVation has been killing tumors that way. Ooh, Neural Parasite too. I do like Neural Parasite against this composition. I've seen that work extremely well against it as well. What I'm really more surprised about is how many Korean Terrans are doing this. It really used to be there were a couple of European Terrans who would go for mech, but not really the Koreans. But you know what? They're doing it. At least for the Katowice, you know, qualifying rounds. We'll see what they actually do when it comes to the official group stages and the playoffs. Whether we get more of this, whether this is just, you know, something they were messing around with in the qualification rounds because they knew they were going to qualify, right? Were they? Did they know they were going to qualify? I don't know. You're playing against players like soO here, man. And I don't think anything's a guarantee. Either way, soO tried to replant this base that died, and, well, that's a canceled hatch. Or it should have been. Wasn't canceled. Ouch. Broodlords and Infestors and Corruptors. Oh, my. So this little army is going to kill as many tanks as they can, which I don't know if that's the priority when you're going Broodlords. But sure, the tanks are gone. His bottom left base is getting wiped out by a single siege tank, not even in siege mode. They actually do more damage to single targets not in siege mode, which, I don't know, maybe a little known fact, maybe a well-known fact. But yeah, tanks not in siege mode, single target attack does more damage to a single target than it would if it was hitting it in siege mode. It's just the splash damage and the range are what makes siege mode what it is and why we usually see it used that way. Yeah, more Thors, man. INnoVation believes in the power of the Thor in the current patch. Oh, there's no... I mean, there's one turret here. Again, the problem with Broodlords is they're slow. And yes, INnoVation's army is similarly slow. This is by no means race car mech. It is tanks, it's Thors, it's Vikings, it's traditional mech in every possible sense. So they're going to have to engage with the Broodlords if they get attacked, but additionally, the Broodlords can't really respond to any attacks that are out of their comfort zone. Right? That's why they're centrally located here. They can't really do much about defending this base. Oh, this Viking has landed. Dude, can he get this hatchery? He's going after the static defense instead, which, I don't know, I think maybe he can get the hatch. Either way, top right base dies instantly. Man, the reaction time for INnoVation today is not that good. There are banelings on full energy, or rather, mules on full energy. soO's really cursed hatchery dies again. At least he canceled it this time. A bunch of drones go down. 5 or 6 of those, 7 SCVs. I'm not sure anybody really cares about that number of workers right now. soO's only at 55 workers, but that's good because his army supply can be bigger. So here's our engagement. This is where we're looking at the Broodlords. Parasitic Bomb going down. Blinding Cloud on the tanks. Infestors biding their time to go for the Neural Parasite. Some Hellbats are in the mix, though, trying to kill these Infestors before the Neural takes over. Banelings rolling on in from the top side. Ravagers trying to get on top of this clump of Thors. The Vikings are wrecking the Broodlords, though. There are so many Vikings here. The Neural Parasite doing some work, but all of the Infestors going down. What is left against the remaining Thors with 13 kills, 19 kills, 17 kills? A lot of those are Broodlings, but still, 6 more Broodlords in production. We've got enough. I think that's enough Lings to handle this, especially if they have upgrades. They've got 3 attack and 1 armor. We're going for it because there's no Hellbats. This is way more effective when there are not Hellbats, and there's a little Ravager support. Okay, the Thors are all going down. That Blue Flame Hellions arrived too late, and INnoVation's army is wiped out. Okay. It's about 35,000 resources lost for soO, 32,000 lost for INnoVation. It's close in that, which is not a good sign for INnoVation. He really wants to be ahead of the Zerg player, especially when he's going mech. The cost efficiency kind of needs to be through the roof here, but he has enough bases that I don't know he needs to be as cost efficient. He's killed enough hatches too, where I think he's okay. 3 hatches down. Look at this, 13 Broodlords down and 13 Thors. So a 1-to-1 ratio there on big ticket items getting massacred. soO just has his little Roach Ravager hit squads. He's running around the map. Might actually reverse course here to deal with these Hellions. Well, he sees them coming anyway. So he's going to move the army up. And yeah, let's just kill these Hellions. Let's not go for that base. There's going to be defense there by the time we arrive. Landed Vikings doing serious work today. 45 drones have died. And I feel like a bunch more of these are going to be to the landed Vikings. Spinecrawler trying to help here. This is just Drone City, though. And this is Viking City. And the Vikings have +3 attack, which is kind of awesome. When do you see Vikings with +3 attack using their ground attack? Never, probably? Probably never. Alright, so all the Vikings die, which is unfortunate. You really wanted those, but why didn't he pick them up? INnoVation's been a little bit sloppy today, you guys. Lifting the Vikings would have saved him against that little Roach attack. INnoVation's got more Hellions, though. There's always more Hellions where those came from. That's the motto of a meching Terran player. There's always more Hellions where those came from. Nobody likes to hear it very much, let alone the Zerg players. That is so many Hellions. Oh, and some tanks, too. I like that. So then the Roaches can't just straight up massacre the Hellions. The tanks are going to cause problems for them, too. That transformation is so stupid fast. Anyway, they're +3 attack on the Hellions and tanks, too. He's, again, not sieging the tanks. This base is run like everybody's running. The drones are running for their lives here. That hatchery died in record time. And soO did not have the army to handle this at all. soO is not producing anything, actually. Production tab is empty, which I'm not a huge fan of at any point in this game. Got some Banelings on the way. Got some Ravagers coming on in, working on additional upgrades. Flyer attack and Flyer Carapace. This is another hatch that's going to go down. INnoVation is just playing this so well. He's showing up with different formations, different types, compositions of mech. And he's kind of catching soO by surprise on some of it. Not all of it, but some of it. I mean, soO is on... I mean, he's happily sitting on 7 bases. Wait, 6? Ooh, 6 bases. That's not good. Where INnoVation's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases, you guys. Base count not favoring the Zerg player. Blue Flame Hellions again causing major problems down here. I mean, that's just 4 Hellions, man. They just got 8 drones. Hellion scene. Is there a base here? No, that's so good for me. That is so stupidly good for me. Again, what I like about the Viper Lurker combo is you could just set up the Lurkers like right here or here, abduct the Thors into them one by one, whittle them down. The Lurkers are pretty fast. The Vipers are pretty fast. You know what's not fast is Broodlords. Broodlords are not fast. However, the Viking count is 0 for INnoVation now. He's got 12 Thors. That's his anti-air. 12 Thors versus 17 Broodlords does not seem to bode very well for the Terran player. I mean, he knows the Broodlords exist. Is he worried about Blinding Cloud? He should be. The Infester's sneaking around. I'm liking this from soO. He's trying to catch the Thors out. Blinding Cloud on the Thors. Neural Parasites coming in as well. What a beautiful engagement out of soO. Timing that perfectly. All the Thors are Neural Parasited or dead. They're killing each other. They're being murdered by a bajillion Broodlings. soO with the masterful engagement there. He's still down in economy, but he is up 138 to 71 army supply. He's going to kill INnoVation's 8th base pretty easily. And then maybe even move up to the 7th base too here. INnoVation is desperately making additional Thors, but it's hard to remax on mech. Especially remaxing on something as like Thors that can't be reactored, that build pretty slow. Yeah, this Broodlord, I have not seen a more dominant Broodlord army in what feels like months here out of soO. Proved me wrong, man. Making slow Broodlords is kind of the way to go. That said, and this base has been so cursed. What a cursed base this is for soO. He has lost it, I want to say 4 or 5 times. Trying to burrow the poor drones. 85 drones have died, and soO's down to 19 workers right now. 19? Another throwdown is a problem for INnoVation, though. He really can't afford to just lose those like that. So he's back. He's back with 1,000,000 Vikings this time. I mean, that's fair, actually. I was like, how do you remax on mech? Well, you can double pump Vikings from reactored starports pretty fast, man. He's making 6 of them at a time. And that counters the Broodlords pretty effectively. INnoVation trying to take this bottom left-hand base, which is definitely on soO's side of the map. And soO is taking direct exception to it, killing the planetary after it gets a single shot off. soO's bank is nothing. He's at 200. This, oh, soO, no. soO, I was feeling so good about this, man. They wiped out 2 of INnoVation's bases pretty handily, but guess who already has them back? Because Terran? Because that's what you do in the late game as your Terran, is just build 1,000,000 orbital commands, and then as you need them, land them on bases that might have died a couple minutes ago. Ta-da, it's back. You have a lot of minerals to spend on that stuff anyway. It's not a big deal, right? Yeah, so INnoVation has a massive bank. Again, I like the Infestors here. I like the Vipers. This is not just naked Broodlords, which I'd be very worried about. And nothing here can shoot up. Where are the Thors? Here they are. Where are the Vikings? Here they are. Ah, I felt that. I really felt like that was kind of game-endy for soO, but he's in trouble. Economically, he is falling apart. He has this mining base, and that's it. INnoVation's on this base and this base and this base still somehow. INnoVation's income is about 3-4 times that of soO's. He has a bank. He's maxed out. soO is neither of those things. He's got the Vikings that did so well for him in that first engagement. Oh my gosh, soO. Boy, this really feels kind of Wings of Liberty, doesn't it? Vikings versus Broodlords. Name a more iconic enemy set. Iconic, not duo, because they're not friends or partners. All right, man. INnoVation, he's back from outer space. Going to be the best parasitic bombs and corruptor hits of all time. Nice blinding clouds. Again, the Thors are not... He's actually neural parasiting Vikings. He's so desperate here. But look at the Thors directly targeting the Broodlords. So many of them are dying. The Vikings are unopposed on the right side. Queens are trying to kill them real fast. Broodlords know they have limited time here. The Thors are retreating, though. But no, not enough. It's not the Oh, the attacks from the Queens with their +3 is not enough to kill all of the Vikings before all of the Broodlords die. And the Broodlord army is gone. It's 9 workers for soO, 25 army supply for soO. That might be your GG. soO's economy is done. His army is done. He has no bank. He has 0 minerals. He's making desperation roaches here, but INnoVation's income is fine. It's not wonderful, but it's also not nothing like soO's is. And soO's out. I mean, he didn't win the engagement. He lost everything. He managed to kill most of what INnoVation had, but this is a game of economics and economy. And that's your good game. INnoVation gets the win. Amazing. Amazing, amazing game there. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Holy smokes. 34 Thors down, 30 Corruptors, 31 Broodlords. So effectively a 1-to-1 ratio again. Every Thor that was made, one Broodlord died. Every Broodlord that was made, one Thor died. Seems fair. They're both very expensive units. The Vikings were beautiful. 35 of those guys went down. The Infestors, 10 of them died. At the end of the game, it was 3 Infestors, 2 Ravagers, and 6 Roaches out of soO's army. It wasn't nice. Not enough, turns out. Just too many bases died. 7 hatcheries went down. It is very rare, the Zerg game, where they win against a Terran where they lose 7 hatcheries. Extremely rare. I mean, 6 planetaries and a command center died for INnoVation, so that's fair. But again, it's just easier for late game Terran to replace their bases. They can just build bases wherever they want in safe locations. When they lose a base, as soon as the Zerg army is gone, they can just go land a command center there and start mining from it instantly. They don't have to rebuild anything like Protoss and Zerg do. So it's a good advantage. Also, 103 drones died, but 78 SCVs got killed too. I mean, it was a worker massacre. It was a base massacre today. Again, no lurkers were created, but the Viper, Infestor, Corruptor, Broodlord attempt kind of worked out here for soO. He had a couple great engagements. But again, I think the Broodlords are just too slow. There are too many hatcheries that died because there was no response possible from soO. He didn't respond to things fast enough. And again, what I like about the Lurker, Viper, Hydra play is everything's fast. They all are pretty zippy, especially on creep. And if you have good creep spread and good Overlord spread, you can see the army coming. You can pick off Thors here and there, insta-kill them with Abduct, basically. Make Abduct look ridiculously overpowered. Those were the comments I was getting, right? Comments I was getting on previous YouTube concepts. Sorry, YouTube videos was that Abduct looks super overpowered. And I don't think I saw a single Abduct out of soO today. Anyway, something to think about. All right, so once again, another Terran win. I'm interested to see if this will carry over into the actual group stages and playoffs of Katowice, but we'll have to wait and see about that. So that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin today with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.